Don't forget to subscribe to my channel Safra Korea and hit the bell icon for regular notification. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to prepare a mutton recipe. So this is, I have purchased it online and it got delivered, door delivery, and this is the mutton which I am going to make curry. So here it is, 2 boxes, and the other one is the curry pieces. So let me wash this thoroughly and get back to the cooking. So here is the mutton washed thoroughly, and now we are going to cook it. So let me just switch on the gas and keep it on complete high flame. You can also use a steel vessel to cook this meat, and some people use a cooker to cook the meat, because mutton is not like chicken, but it takes long time to cook. So cooking it in a cooker is not a good idea, because you lose the flavor of the meat, the taste, and also it tends to shred faster. So the right way is that let it cook with its own time, and it will take a lot of time to cook. Mutton normally, depending on how tender the meat is, it will take long hours to cook. So I have added some oil in this, and I have added used oil because I don't like to waste it. Yesterday I had fried some chicken, and so I have added the same oil. So this is coconut oil which I am using, and I have added sufficient quantity of oil. Add some onions. So add little bit of onions. So all the measurements I'll be mentioning it below in the description box, so you can refer to that, and just give it a good stir. So add some ginger garlic paste. I have added around 1.5 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste, because this, in course of time when the mutton is getting cooked, mutton normally it takes around 1.5 hours to cook at a medium to high flame. Or it may take even lesser time, around at least an hour. It requires 1 hour 15 minutes to cook, depending on whether you are buying what sort of meat, tender, a sheep or a goat. So preferably, yes, it has to be cooked in a vessel, and the lid has to be closed, and don't cook it in a cooker. So once the raw aroma of the ginger garlic paste is gone, you can add the meat, and this can also be cooked in an open vessel like a kadai or a closed vessel like this. So we'll add the meat, and I have used 1 kg of mutton curry pieces, and to this we'll add turmeric powder. So turmeric powder is added in cooking, especially when we prepare meats, even in chicken. So sufficient quantity of turmeric powder till you don't get a pale yellow color, but a deep yellow color in the mutton broth. And this mutton broth, it can be drunk as a soup, And this soup is very nutritious because it consists of the fats and the flavor of the meat. So we are going to cook this in sufficient quantity of water, and the broth is very tasty, and also you can make soup out of it or just have it like that. So I've added some salt and let it be on high flame, completely high flame. So I'm going to add some water in this and add sufficient quantity of water so that all the mutton pieces get immersed in the water. So the water level should be sufficient enough where the mutton pieces are immersed into this water, because we want the mutton pieces to get cooked evenly and not some pieces and some pieces are left raw and not cooked. So all the mutton pieces should get cooked evenly and well. So I have added sufficient quantity of turmeric powder where you get a deep yellow color, and sufficient quantity of salt. Now, salt may vary as per your taste, so depending on your taste you can add the required quantity. And we're going to keep this on completely high flame and cover it. So cover it and add some water on the lid. So this lid holds water, and the reason I'm doing this is because it will cook in its own flavor and the water will not get vaporized, but in fact it will get condensed inside with this lid and water on it. So it will cook in its own flavor, the vapor will get condensed and the water level will not decrease very fast. But in course of time, in this 1.5 hour, every 10 minutes just open the lid and have a look to see whether the water level has decreased, and you can pour this water into the vessel and keep repeating the procedure again. Empty this water in the vessel and then add water on top. So once it's on high flame completely, the water starts getting evaporated, and that time I'm going to decrease the flame to medium high. So you can notice that the water is getting evaporated, and now I'm going to decrease the flame to medium high. Yes, it has to be kept on a high flame because the mutton will not cook on a very low flame. So it continuously for 1 hour, 1.5 hour, it has to be kept on a high flame. And then when required, just pour the water in this vessel, and this procedure keep continuing. After every 10 minutes have a watch whether the water level has decreased. After every 10 to 15 minutes, and close it, and then again pour little bit of cold water. So we'll get back to this in 1.5 hours time. So it needs to be cooked completely, like almost 95 to 100% cooked in this water and to form a broth. And when we give the seasoning, it will just add to the flavor to the meat. So the cooking is done in this water almost 95 to 100%. And then just have a look. Supposed to pick a piece and see whether it shreds and it's soft. If it's soft and shreds, then the meat is completely cooked. So this video is also a 4K video, and you all can watch it on your big television screen. So enjoy my recipes and my cooking, and if you're new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So it's almost 1.5 hour that the mutton is being cooked, and I just removed a piece here and it's cooked. So I put the flame off, and this is how you check it. You can see that the mutton is getting the mutton shreds and it's soft and nice. the mutton shreds and it's soft and nice. So it's almost 100% cooked. So you can wait for it to cool down, or even when it is hot, we'll separate the meat out, the meat pieces, and this broth we'll empty it into another container. So you can either have this broth directly, it tastes very good, this mutton broth, you can just have it directly, or you can give a seasoning to it. It's very nutritious and very tasty. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep empty it into another container. So this broth consists of all the fat also of the mutton, and if you include fat also in this mutton curry, it will add to the flavor of this recipe. So just keep aside the pieces and the broth, and then now I'll show you how to do the seasoning. So for the masala, just take a kadai and let it be on high flame. We'll add some oil in this to fry some onions. And I'm using coconut oil to fry. I've cut around 3 medium-sized onions, around 3.5, and I'll fry it in 2 batches. So these onions have to be fried till they are brown in color, golden brown. So this will give color, nice dark brown color to this mutton masala, and also it will add a different flavor, a different taste to this preparation. So let it continue to be on high flame and fry the onions. So you can observe that the color has changed, it's become brown. So let us fry it for some more time. Don't let it become too dark brown, and till the time you remove it, it may get burnt. So at the right time, you can see when it's slightly brown, we'll remove the onions. So you can observe that I fried it till they are golden brown. So let me add a little more oil, and I'll fry the second batch of onions. So even the second batch is fried, and now I'll reduce the flame. I fried it on high flame, and I will remove it now. So after removing the onions from the oil, you can observe the color of it, and once you empty it in another bowl, you can observe that the color of onions will change. So the onions, once they are removed from the hot oil, when they are light brown, and once they cool down, they change their color and they become this dark brown kind of. And now we're going to add a little bit of water and make it into a paste in the mixer. I'll add little bit of water, not much. So this tastes best with clarified butter, but presently I've used the coconut oil. So if you have that in your kitchen, then you prefer using that. So let me add the spices in this. I have added star anise, bay leaf 2, 1 black cardamom, and cloves, and 2 cinnamon sticks. Add some onions. So all the measurements I mentioned in the description box. So for the exact measurements that I have used, you can refer to the description box below. And this is going to be a mutton masala. It's going to be a little thick, not kind of curry, but a thick gravy, thick masala. So you can refer to my previous recipes on the mutton curry that I have made, the green masala and the red curry. Both are curry recipes. You can refer to that. And if you're new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because you'll find a lot of interesting recipes coming up which I'll be uploading. So I upload all kinds of videos, especially of non-veg, mutton, chicken, fish, and some vegetarian recipes that I prepare. So you'll find a lot of interesting stuff on my channel. So if you're new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe to it. So I will add the tomatoes. I've cut around 1 large size tomato and give this a good mix. The tomato and the onions, it should be braised for a very long time, so that both this become one nice homogeneous mix, and we want this to form a nice thick paste for this gravy. So keep braising it. And we are going to add some ginger garlic paste. I have added around 1.5 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. Just give this a nice quick good mix. To give this a nice good mix and let it saute for a long time. You can see the tomato is getting cooked, and it's important that the tomato should not be raw when you add the mutton. So let it cook like this, braise it for a good amount of time on high flame. You can see it's getting into a nice good paste. I'll add some salt. So I'll add the spices now. I'll add some red chili powder. I've added around 1 tablespoon of red chili powder. I'll add some garam masala. So all the measurements I'll be mentioning it. You can refer to all the ingredients and its measurements in the description box. So some cumin powder and coriander powder, which I'll be adding a little good amount of coriander powder. So give this a nice good mix. I have not added the turmeric powder because we have added that while cooking the mutton. And the best way to cook the mutton is in a vessel, not in a cooker, because the meat shreds and it gets overcooked in the cooker. So the right way of making the mutton is by cooking it in the vessel. No doubt it takes longer time to cook. It takes a lot of time to cook, but that is the right way of cooking. But if you want the option of energy conservation, then you can use the cooker. So this is a nice masala that is formed, and I'm missing out on the ghee, the clarified butter, because I add that in all my recipes. It's a healthy, nice, good dairy fat, and it is incomplete. Any meal is definitely incomplete. The clarified butter adds to the taste of any food, but presently it's not there in my kitchen, so I have just managed with the coconut oil. And this food that I prepare is not a specific video that I make for my YouTube videos or the recipes that I upload, but it's my day-to-day cooking, which I like to share it with my viewers and my subscribers all around the world, so that they also can experiment with different kinds of food and recipes and get a touch of Indian cooking. So I will add this meat pieces that I have separated and give this a nice good mix. I'll add the broth of the mutton, because the broth is where the entire flavor of the cooked mutton lies in, the broth of the mutton. So this will add entirely a different flavor to this. And you can keep some portion separate of the broth to just have it like that as a soup, or you can also give some seasoning to this broth and enjoy the soup. So I've added the broth. It's where all the fat and all the nutrients of the mutton lie in the soup, the broth of the mutton. So give this a nice good mix. I'll add some pepper powder, which I missed out. So there I've added some pepper powder, and this is more of the brown masalas that I've used. I've added more quantity of the garam masala, the cumin, coriander powder and the pepper powder. I've added spices in the seasoning, and also I'll be adding now the paste that we prepared, the onion paste. So I've added around 3 tablespoons of that. Let me see, this is, we give a different color and add to the flavoring. Give it a nice good mix. And also if required, you can just have a taste and add some salt on this. So I'll just add very little amount of salt, because we have already added in the broth and also in the tomato and onion paste. So give this a nice good mix, and I'll cover it and I'll just keep it to simmer on very low flame for 5 to 7 minutes, and then it will be ready. I'll just add some amount of water on top so that the gravy doesn't get dried up in the course of cooking and when it's on simmer. the flavor will remain inside and the water will condense inside the vessel, so the gravy, it won't get burnt. In 5 to 7 minutes I'll just put the gas off. So it's done now. I'll just have a look. So it's done, and just discard the water which is on top of the lid, and I'll put the gas off and just let it cool down for 5 to 10 minutes and then I'll serve it. So here guys is the mutton masala, the spicy mutton masala ready, and I have used more of the browned spices in this, the brown masala, where I've used the onions, the paste of the onions, and the garam masala, and the spices which I've used in the seasoning. So you will find a lot of variety of such stuff in my channel, a lot of variety which I have tried out, the mutton green gravy and the red curry of the mutton. So you can subscribe to my channel for all such updates, and I'll be posting a lot of such recipes of non-veg and veg, especially non-veg, the mutton, chicken and fish, a lot of variety of recipes. So guys, I hope you enjoyed watching my video of this mutton, and definitely if you try out this recipe, then don't forget to drop your comments below, and I read all the comments that come on my videos. And if you'll have any suggestions or any recipes that you'll want me to try, then don't forget to mention it in the comment section below, and I'll come up with more recipes in future for you all. So bye bye all of you all, and I'll see you all in more recipes to come. Yes, and don't forget to hit that like button if you all enjoyed watching this video and enjoyed this recipe of mine, and don't forget to share it with everyone, and I'll see you all in my next video.